Так. Что такое? А, это было. Так, все было. Это оно уже, да? У нас, в принципе, не тесно. Я соскучился. И разгрузит нас ребенком тоже. В какой-то мере. Так-то можно было на 3 месяца. Так, это что здесь продается? Binoculars. Тут другой магазин. Пульт, а телевизор?
Television not included, sir. That cost 2,000. Looking to speed up the cleanup? Great choice, sir. That will be 3,000.
Тут 50к. Инстаклин.
The binocular vision upgrade will allow you to carefully examine your surroundings. It retails
это
for
всё
15,000.
Типа незначительный апгрейд. Не то, что они сильно что-то меняют. Типа ускорить сбор, там что-то видеть дальше. Это что такое? Джем?
No refunds on that one, sir. That costs 5,000.
Можно для каких-то квестов надо. А, ну это моя мама, я-то могу там как хочешь ходить.
Clean even the largest junk in the blink of an eye. Great choice, sir. That cost
понимаю, да.
30,000.
Щит купить.
An additional shield orb slot. Very useful. That will be 50,000.
Там до 5 можно, но я думаю, что доп щит я потом куплю. Сюда у
You
меня
don't have
влазит.
anything, said the dirty old man. Now hop it.
Здорово, Пикселович. Б, это что? Будто мне нужен какой-то и не один апгрейд, чтобы туда можно было залезть.
It looked like I would need a ticket to get through the fairgrounds
Какой-то
automatic
билет нужно
doors.
освободить.
It looked like
Ну,
I
я
would need a ticket
понимаю,
to get through
да.
the fairgrounds automatic doors.
Ну ладно, тут сколько всего. Плюс сразу 12 билетов, чтобы дешевше было. Советую, кстати, игру Pixel Age.
Mind the doors. The train
Неплохая.
is now departing.
Много ретро-отсылок стильных, так сказать.
The clouds were gathering as we pulled into Factoryton and the Professor's factory.
Здорово, Диманчик. Или лучше сказать Диману.
Cold specks of rain began to fall as I stepped off the train onto the deserted platform. The station looked as
Аниме?
if it hadn't been used in years. There were no conductors, no ticket barriers, not even an up-to-date timetable. The place was like a ghost town.
Заброшенное место. Ничего здесь нет, билеты нету.
Mind the doors. The train is now departing.
39 аниме подряд. За это ачивку дают. Полагаю, здесь я упаду в лужу. Help wanted. Ну, это кирпичный завод. Кажется, без вариантов сюда зайти надо. Я думаю, стул на меня набросился. Ну, я бы сказал, тут есть какие-то предметы, которые что-то открывают. Но пока особо не ощутил. Это, я бы сказал... Блин, я даже не знаю, как это назвать. Как это назвать? То есть это в первую очередь платформер, просто с изюминкой, я бы сказал. Прямо каких-то особых головоломок тут не было. Солянка, да. Солянка, потому что здесь... Ну, ты можешь, типа в Space Invaders, там на аркадном автомате, например, играть. Точнее, пародию на Space Invaders. И на много там других ретро-игр. Outrun там. Ну, типа я могу пойти плутать. Ну, у меня с мамой хорошие отношения. Я соскучился по нему. Но мне в эту дверь наверняка надо идти. Соломон автоматонс.
The security system jumped to life. I knew the only way I could deactivate it was to destroy its power source. That's when I spotted a perfect shiny surface. Maybe I could deflect one of the
вот
lasers
уже
toward
пазл
the
с зеркалами.
generator.
Вот, кстати, про зеркала. Какая кнопка запускает вот это? Ой. Так, наверное. Такое. Нет. Я могу сразу вот так менять? Окей. А я думал, монолит нужно как-то использовать. Здорово, Зубокрыныч, добрый вечер.
Mr. Silton and the others arrived and changed out of their disguises. Although Mr. Preston was moaning as apparently Mrs. Silton had only washed his and Mr. Logan's Halloween costumes.
Это не приехали. Типа... Тут несколько разных проходов, или мне нужно его посетить? А. Серьезно?
The office was deserted, but it looked like people had left in a hurry. Various computers had been left on.
А нафига я это тащил? Ну вот, аркады. Ну я думал. Просто я-то не могу на эти штуки наступать. Но мне и типа не указывали задачи, что нужно провести. Поэтому я сомневаюсь. Вот, это Пэкман, например. Я не буду играть. Вторая ритм игра. Уже наигрался. Ну то есть, выглядит как будто надо, да? И как будто определенные предметы в определенные места. Мне вот эту штуку нужно сначала положить. До этого как-то сами справлялись.
Strangely, there were drawings of me everywhere. I hoped the professor could tell me why when we found him.
Пылесос работает. Ноль junk here.
There were no signs of life. If the professor was living here, he hadn't been here in a long time.
Типа тут я смогу обратно вернуться. Я тут полутаю. Ну, я хочу, наверное, да, сходить туда.
This all looked very familiar. I would have looked around more, but we needed to find the professor.
Эти руки не убиваются.
It's strange, none of the machines were totally active, but the power was still on.
То есть вот здесь где-то... Ага. Да, короче, типа два альтернативных пути, но я мусор смог собрать. Пробовав оба.
A large piece of machinery blocked our path. Mr. Silton smiled when I asked what we should do next. I knew straight away that he didn't mean Mr. Preston or Mr. Logan when he said, "Someone's gonna have to climb inside."
Нужно
It
забраться
seemed we could
внутрь.
use the computer to move chunks of the machine around. I knew I needed to make a clear path, as it would be me that would be going through it.
Типа, это мне нужно менять и потом залазить туда. Я не люблю пятнашки. Вот туда еще залезть, там какая-то плата лежит. Я могу ресетнуть это. Не уверен, что я что-то ресетнул. Так я могу залезть, забрать предметы. А, так это даже лучше. Или нет? Ну так достаточно. Могу еще вот так сделать. Красиво выглядело. И опять лазеры. Аэропланы, гонки, встряски. А. Я могу здесь просто пробежать. И намек понят. Дай! Нет, не ахти, как сложно. Я думаю, что это вскоре закончится. Может, будет какой-нибудь один сложный вариант с лазером еще. Или босс с лазерами.
As we entered the extravagant corridor, the most beautiful tune played in the distance. But
Это
almost as
прекрасная
soon as
музыка
we began
заиграла.
to enjoy its dulcet tones, the music stopped.
Потом
dead.
музыка остановилась. Это профессор? Он умер?
The professor was dead, but everything seemed wrong. He was old, very old, maybe 20 years older than when I'd last seen him. Mr. Silton sounded very sad when he said, "How did anyone even get in here? I don't know what to do now. I suppose we'll head back to the train station."
Окей, что-то выглядело не так. Он на 20 лет старше как будто выглядел, чем обычно. А музыка откуда играла там? Я думаю, что он не сдох. Не знаю. Он бегать разучился.
Is it? Yes, it is. This is the right day, said the
Похоже,
professor
он
as he jabbed at a
путешествует во
small
времени.
metal box. I don't know how much time I've got to explain, he continued as a bright light began to surround everyone. Oh, not long at all.
Мистер Силтон не попал в это. Профессор там умеет.
We had reappeared just as smoothly as we had left, but we were somewhere very different. Mr. Preston and Mr. Logan were speechless, but the professor just continued studying his box. Looking back, I suppose I was rather stupid, as I ended up chasing a beautiful butterfly. I was lost, but soon I realized I wasn't as alone as I thought.
Oh no.
I
Потерялся.
couldn't believe we had time traveled, but there was no time to sightsee. Some things were worthless junk, but this could be sold for a decent price. The prehistoric world looked like paradise, except for the killer cavemen.
Историк, короче, это он сейчас пошутил, что, мол, это место выглядело как рай, только не считая убийц пещерных людей. Что такое? Пещерных людей убийц, вот так правильнее, наверное. Нет. Ау. Не играл. Ну то есть я играл, может быть, там немного. Я же запускал много игр. Ретро. Это, по-моему, уже ретро-игра. Вроде неплохая. 16-битная, по-моему, да? Здорово, Ферит. Ну, что-то им не нравится.
This was one
Как
of the
будто
most valuable things I'd seen.
мы тут деньги собираем заодно.
I would have liked to have a look around, but I had to get back to the others. After literally 10 minutes of Mr. Preston and Mr. Logan saying whoa and dude, the professor began to explain time travel. If I can find the correct point in time, then I should be able to, well, make things better. I suppose it's like we're in that excellent movie, chuckled Mr. Logan. Back to the Future? Replied Mr. Preston. No, that excellent movie. Back to the Future 2? Time Bandits? Time Cop, Terminator, Groundhog Day, Groundhog Day, Groundhog Day. The box let out a loud bleep as the professor gave it a heavy thump. This damn thing's so dependent on the maths used to calculate where the Earth is at any one point in time and space, that it's almost random where we'll end up, or even how long the time window will stay open. That last one was the shortest I've had yet. Although obviously apprehensive of our situation, I think Mr. Preston and Mr. Logan were too excited to really pay attention. But they were far less excited when I asked what his longest stay was, and the professor replied, about 15 years. I was stranded in ancient Egypt for so long. They had me build them a steam-powered robot. You should have seen the things they had it build. Yes, wonderful things. It was like...
Он говорит, 15 лет в Египте просидел и сделал робота, который построил им
I was
пирамиды.
both incarnate, or the modern Prometheus. Speaking of which, robot, have a look around, see if you can find anything to make a fire.
Хочет, чтобы я нашел что-нибудь.
As great as my shoes were, they weren't much
Чтобы
use
развести
when there was
огонь.
nothing for them to stick to. I rolled deep into the cave, but at least I had found the professor some firewood. Now I just needed to get back to everybody else.
Пауки.
It may seem ridiculous, but I really did fall this far into the cave.
Ну там я взял лес. Ау. Два.
Things started to look familiar. I was pretty sure I was nearly back where I had originally fallen. Everybody warmed themselves by the fire. In the orangey glow, the cave even looked a little homely. Mr. Logan was much more comfortable now that he could see his surroundings, but Mr. Preston kept saying, "We're in bloody dinosaur times." The professor laughed. He pointed out that there was 65 million years between dinosaurs and the emergence of man. But that just made Mr. Preston panic about possible dinosaur ghosts. I got the feeling Mr. Logan had heard this kind of talk before, as he sighed when he said, "Oh, I suppose you believe in ghosts as well now, do you?" "Well, yeah," said Mr. Preston. "Barry's missus says this bloke who works with her uncle reckons his brother saw one. Fact." And with that, he began to tell the most amazing story I had ever
Мистер
heard.
Престон стал
He
рассказывать
explained
историю
how there
про...
was a man traveling through the Black Wall Tunnel who saw a young motorcyclist stood by a smashed-up motorbike. The man stopped, so the motorcyclist told him an address, but when he got in the back of the car, he fell silent, clearly in shock. "This isn't a ghost story," interrupted Mr.
Типа
Logan.
хоррор-историю
"This is
рассказывает.
called giving someone a lift." Mr. Preston was annoyed. Mr. Logan's stupid joke had ruined his train of thought. The brother of a bloke who works with Mrs. Silton's uncle gave a young motorcyclist a lift after a crash outside the Black Wall Tunnel. I said, just happy to be part of the conversation. "Yeah, that's it," said Mr. Preston as he explained that when the man arrived at the address, the motorcyclist had vanished. He said the man, not knowing what else to do, knocked on the door of the house. Soon an old lady answered, and when the man asked her if she had a son, she burst out crying and sobbed, "I did have, but he died 10 years ago today. Just outside the Black Wall Tunnel." I couldn't believe my audio sensors. This was concrete proof of the afterlife. I mean, Mr. Logan did point out that the story was from a children's TV show called Grange Hill. But you can't argue with the facts. Soon, the professor had finished input.
Короче, он там рассказал страшилку, а робот поверил и теперь верит в загробную жизнь.
Whatever data his box needed. "Robot," he said, "we need to be outside for my computations to be truly accurate. Find us an exit from this platonic allegory. The cave. Find us a way out."
Нужно выйти наружу. Что за огромная карта? Типа нужно им тут мост построить из 5 блоков или типа того.
This block looked perfect, so I decided I would only place it where the professor said I should.
Окей. Еще один. Вау. Окей. Я не был уверен. Вау. Еще один. Ну, где-то здесь, наверное, да? А, окей. Вопрос, куда мы теперь попадем? Вряд ли обратно сразу.
Well, I've reversed the polarity of the neutron flow, so, here we go, said the professor as the glowing light surrounded us again. This is it, said the professor as he looked around. Oh no, he gasped as his expression became far more serious. It's the wrong time.
Неправильное время.
We had appeared in another barren desert. I was beginning to think that the past was made of nothing but sand. The professor looked concerned as he examined his box. It was then that we realized we were completely surrounded.
Это
The
египтяне, его
men
друзья.
seemed to think I was some kind of god, or, as it turned out, some kind of sacrifice.
Принесли меня в жертву.
The stalactite above me looked quite unstable, like it was ready to come down.
А,
I didn't know how much this was worth,
Ну,
but it
там
looked
дофига.
expensive.
камней. Я вот так же могу залезть, правда? только в пиксель попасть. Там же столько денег. Ну, вот так надо сделать просто. Да ладно.
This seemed quite valuable.
12 джан комбо. Дождик. Лука забьем.
Now, this was clearly worth something.
All junk cleared.
As I got to the top of the cliff, I could see everyone else being led away in heavy chains. Their extravagantly dressed capturers were only moving them in a slow march, so I followed them at a safe distance. Strangely, the men seemed to ask the professor something, who nodded in agreement. Although they clearly knew each other, the man in charge pushed the professor into a small wooden cage, along with Preston and Logan. The men then left. I was about to attempt to free my friends when one of the men returned with some tools. It was then I heard some machinery start in the distance, and the man left again. I then found out what the machinery was.
Босс. Баскетбол. Спасли.
Mr. Preston took a chance to do something I'm guessing he thought was brave, shouting, "Catch you later, you ancient Egyptian dickweeds." This looks right. "Stay here," whispered the professor, "just in case."
Ждите здесь, просто на всякий случай.
"Sorry to take you on a less than excellent adventure," whispered the professor, his voice slowly weakening, "but I knew you needed to see these things. I was always worried about the military possibilities, but I'm pleased to see your consciousness software is still growing. Life is a state
Не понял,
of
чего он умер.
mind." I had no idea what he meant, but he looked so happy. "Quick!" shouted Mr. Logan. "Hide!" I jumped into a large cupboard with Mr. Preston, who whispered something about seeing some people on the security monitor. The cupboard door was pretty thick, so I couldn't really hear what was going on, but suddenly I heard Mr. Silton shout, "Run!" When Mr. Preston eventually opened the door, we saw a large glowing light, exactly like the one from the professor's time machine. It was only then that I realized that we had reappeared just before we had left. As we walked back to the train station, Mr. Silton was truly confused. All he kept saying was, "What the bloody hell happened?"
Профессор умер. Его конкретно я не понял.
Soon we were all gathered around the dusty blackboard back at Mr. Silton's house. He was explaining what was an increasingly complicated plan. "And that, ladies and gentlemen," he said, "is the plan of the century."
Какой-то план придумали. Спасение хитро или чё?
Sim explained that Heather and her mum were in Lab 33. He said I should find them, then take them to the gate on the other side of the base. I nodded, even though I must have looked terrified. "I'll need to register these two," he continued. "Hopefully the guards won't notice I walked in with 3 robots and now only have 2. He wished me luck and reminded me it was Lab 33, but you only need to tell a robot something once.
Лаборатория 33 мне нужно. Осталось. $250 000 мусора собрал. Серверная. Это тоже к лабораториям. Это я выключил сигнализацию. Ага. В control room. Ничего интересного. Ага, типа, чтобы потом проход открылся, да? Много тут мусора. Мгм. Мгм, мгм. Типа, если бы я их мог убить чем-нибудь. Паспорт. Некорректно.
I was confronted by a severe-looking scientist who asked me where I thought I was going. I found his line of questioning interesting. Existential. Almost. I was
Послай
so
меня.
stunned I couldn't speak. Are you okay? Asked Heather. Mum told Dr. Heddle he really shouldn't force a power cycle on you robots. I don't think she recognized me. But eventually I got enough strength up to speak. However, all that came out was Heather.
Узнала, когда я
As for the
сказал
old
хитр.
lady, I don't know how, but she recognized me as soon as I walked through the door of their living quarters.
Сразу меня узнала каким-то образом.
They both smiled when I told them how everyone else had worked together to create a distraction at the base's main gates. Well, said the old lady, we've been looking for an excuse to escape. Heather, grab your things and we'll get going.
Не понял, они здесь работают или их держат? Там, если много раз умираешь, то хилка появляется вначале. Типа для помощи. Ну, смысл понятен. Нужно, чтобы он по шипам бил. Или по голове. Или по голове и по шипам, не понял. Видимо, по голове. Сломал? Мстит.
A single bored-looking guard stood between us and the exit. All the other soldiers must have been at the main gate, either being entertained or annoyed by Mr. Silton and the others. "How do we get past him then?" whispered Heather as we crept closer. The old lady smiled. "I'll create a distraction and you two run for it," she said. "No, Mum," said Heather. "If we're leaving, you're coming too." But Mr. Logan soon solved our dilemma.
Мистер Логан
As we
помог.
quietly jogged through the exit, Mr. Silton and the others tore round the corner in the van before screeching to a halt. All the while Mr. Preston shouting and gesturing for us to get in. When things had finally quietened down, I asked Heather what was going on. "It all changed after Dad died," she
Всё
said,
изменилось после того, как папа
explaining
умер.
that because the professor didn't want anything to do with me. The old man's financial investors split the company
Компанию разделили
into
на
12 divisions
12
and began
подразделений.
manufacturing all sorts
Стали
of
делать все
robots.
виды роботов.
So the old man, he was actually my creator, my maker. I suppose a more poetic man might have called him my father. Soon, The robots were sold to every country.
Потом
Heather
роботов продали
continued,
всем
saying that when
странам.
a small skirmish in the Middle East turned into a global war, every country started using robotic troops. In literally less than a day, every country's robots realized that the other robots were not the problem, the humans were, and, very logically deserted, with disastrous consequences.
Типа началась война там между людьми, и они отправили в свои войска роботов, потом роботы осознали, что это не они друг другу враги, а это люди, и, в общем, дезертировали.
It suddenly all made sense. What the professor had said, all the other robots, and why no one ever wanted to talk about the war when I was around. All of a sudden, Alice shouted for everyone to hold on. We were being followed.
За нами погоня. Привет, Магерона. Или уже поздоровался, неважно. Опять хитро спасаем. Дубль 2.
I'd never really considered the idea of God, but I actually prayed that Heather was okay. We'd fallen pretty far out of the van, and I wasn't sure I'd really braced her fall. Heather greeted me with a calm smile. I thought you'd find me easier than I'd find you, so I thought I'd stay put. I made a small shelter as quick as I could. It was soon pitch black and starting to rain, so Heather had suggested we rest. In the morning, when there would be better light, we could try to find our way home. I don't think Dad ever imagined this would happen, said Heather with a sad look in her eye. I mean, he would always talk about how he'd dreamt of a robot when he was a young boy. He and Mum were so happy when you finally turned up. I honestly think he thought robots like you could help the world, not kill millions of people. Death is really sad, I said. It was an obvious thing to say, but Heather nodded. When my best friend died, she continued, I asked Mum why people had to die. She said it was to make room for new babies to be born. I don't know why, but this made me feel both happy and sad at the same time. Mr. Preston practically fell through a bush as he said, "There you are. We've been looking for you all night." He
Нашли нас.
explained that they had lost the soldiers, but the van had broken down. Luckily though, it was actually only a short walk away. I must have looked sad when we got back, as the old lady sat down beside me. "What's the matter?" she asked. I told her that Heather had explained the war to me. The old lady sighed, "It's not your fault," before saying how the original idea was for the robots to be raised like children, learning and developing their own consciousness. But, when the old man died and I was shut down, my consciousness was taken, hacked, and copied to every other robot, to bypass the growing up stage. Heather explained that every robot had a tiny bit of my memories, of the old man,
Говорит, что, мол, когда я отключился, они взяли мое сознание и разложили по другим
So when the
роботам.
war broke out, Hundreds of unstable robots kept arriving at their house. I think it was like some kind of pilgrimage for them, said the old lady. That's why we created a scrambling signal. It only works within a few hundred miles, but turns any unlicensed or illegal robots close enough into mindless zombies. That's another reason we were surprised to see you. Heather explained how most of the planet had been taken over by robots. She said they were looking for more people, but it wasn't looking good. They had received a radio signal from Japan. There was a few thousand people who survived there. Lord knows how, said the old lady. Their robots outnumbered people 50-1 by the time the war broke out. Heather said how she had been writing a virus that would shut any robot down. I'm not really a great coder, she said. Mom was trying to work out a way to boost the scrambling signal, but now you're here I've got an idea. The old lady smiled and slowly nodded. We should be able to clone your personality and broadcast your consciousness to all the other robots. Heather smiled. We'll make them all nice.
Хотят сигналом распространить его сознание на других роботов, чтобы они все подобрели.
Robot, interrupted Mr. Sultan. We're nearly done, but we're all starving. See if you can catch us one of them rabbits. When I got back, I told everyone that I couldn't catch anything. I don't think anyone was...
Так, если Alt F4 нажму. Я, может, хочу поймать кролика. Я просто думал, что я сначала схожу назад.
When I got back, I told
Нельзя.
everyone that I couldn't catch anything. I don't think anyone was too disappointed.
Возвращение домой.
In the morning, Sim and Alice brought the blind man to the house. Despite his lack of sight, he was quite the computer expert. He talked the others through the process of setting up a video phone. He said it should serve our purpose, but the low bit rate might make everyone's faces look a bit blocky. The device soon crackled into life. Hello Nighthawk. This is Dr. Hero of Japan. Are you receiving me? Over. Hello, said the old lady. This is Nighthawk. It's good to speak to you again. Dr. Hero explained that something had gone wrong and the enemy robots had nearly breached their defenses. We have everything we need to broadcast our nice virus and make the robots far more passive. It might take a few months. Can you hold out until then? Dr. Hero sighed. Well, we'll have to.
Типа мы идем спасать японцев при
I spent
помощи
the rest of that day
супервируса.
helping Sim and the blind man set up a computer with what they called the internet. The planet might have been ravaged by war, but this allowed people to communicate with each other. The old lady was concerned about viruses and other technical-sounding things, explaining that they might infect me. But Mr. Silton talked right over her, as he convinced everyone it was a great idea.
Меня в интернет запустит или
It
что?
was amazing. When Heather and I looked at it, there was nothing but video games and awesome cartoons. When Mr. Preston looked, it was all strange conspiracies and ghosts. Mr. Logan saw guns. Alice saw that her church was having a summer fete. For Mr. Deck it was operas and subtitled films. But when Mr. Silton looked at it, I was shocked to find the entire thing was full of naked ladies.
А.
Later that evening, Mr. Silton wheeled an old piano into the room. Heather smiled as she explained that her parents had bought it for her when she had seen it in an old junk shop. As a thank you, she had written a piece of music for her parents, which one day she tried to play for them.
В общем, они подарили ей пианино, и она из родственников хотела сыграть придуманный трек. Ну, видимо, кто-то позвонил. Меня привезли.
For some reason, she then gave me a huge hug and suggested I might like to play the piano with her. As happy as the old lady was with us playing the piano, we soon got back to business. After scanning the house, she explained that, other than the escaped nanobots, there were 4 test robots that I would have to track down. They had each taken important satellite parts that we would need to
Короче, надо в
broadcast the
доме
nice virus, and we had to get these parts.
найти 4 роботов, у них какие-то части спутника, чтобы
back in the hallway
запустить
with the rest of our
вирус.
equipment. If you're going to explore their house, said
Мне
Mr.
дашь
Silton,
пушку?
you should know some of the doors have been boarded up.
А,
Here,
лом.
take my crowbar. Oi, that's mine, laughed Mr. Preston. You said you didn't take it. You really are a proper c***. Mr. Preston explained that they had used it in what he called their old business. I soon realized this meant all sorts of robbery, but he said that they'd given that all up after falling out with their old gang of associates. Although Mr. Preston's story was very interesting, Simon the Blind Man had something even more interesting for me, something they called an auto map.
Карту? Так. Я мог бы закупиться пойти. Где тут поезд?
I took the fisherman's boat to the mainland.
Нет, это здесь, да.
I made my way into the town. Now then, said the dirty old man, let's see what you've got. That's a body dazzler. Impressive. This is nice. Cheap as chips. I like these. The police aren't going to come looking for this. This looks interesting. I like these. I've already got a buyer lined up for this. Cheap as chips. If that's genuine, I'll be quids in. It's a bit broken, but I'll take it. If that's genuine, I'll be quids in. I collect these. I like these. I like these.
I like this.
Ooh, shiny. That's going straight on eBay. I won't ask where you got this. This looks interesting. That's a beauty. Now that's something. Can't say fairer than that. The police are just, I collect impressive. If that's genuine, haven't seen this looks, haven't seen, I like, can't, if that's genuine, that's a body, this is nice. If that's cheap as chip, I won't, it's a bit broke, my wife, impressive. I like these, that's a body, if that's, I won't, I can never have impressive, that's a beauty, everything else is junk. Go on then, said the younger man, stick everything in Bertha.
$153 000. Что это такое?
I'm sure you'll find the use for it, sir. The charge for it is 10,000. Make the junk come to you, sir. Very good choice. The price will be 30,000.
Вакуум 3.
This will give you the maximum possible range for your junk vac. The cost for this upgrade is 50,000. An additional sheet.
По идее, еще один я могу купить щит.
Restock.
Купить все предметы. Все возможные предметы. Ну или это по одному. Если я скуплю здесь все эти штуки, то будет. Всё. Ну что, возвращаемся теперь?
I made my way back out to the mainland.
Это я не могу запылесосить. Нужен какой-то апгрейд, что ли, чтобы я в воду мог залазить.
Mr. Silton's door was locked. I don't think anyone was in anyway.
Что за этой дверью было? Ну это типа я должен научиться ломать, наверное, эти двери. Стены.
I took the fisherman's boat to the old man's estate.
Ну ладно, раз 6 пошел. Тут можно сломать стену, но у меня навыка нет. Зато я просто пылесосом высосал часть из стены. Это раньше я не мог дергать за эти штуки. Я могу тут пройти. Ты здесь был или нет? Был. Так, ну... Короче, зря сюда пошел. Ну ладно. Там мусор в противниках есть, что ли? Здесь я мусор не соберу, пока плавать не научусь. Зря это сделал. 10 мусора здесь. Эх. Не знаю, где конкретно здесь мусор. Мне кажется, я здесь в прошлый раз все осматривал. Здорово, Senior Love Story. Здравствуйте. А, я могу их убить той мусоркой. Вот только хорошее место выбрать. Чтобы они не мешали это делать. Давайте last try, потому что это... Я не уверен, что мне нужно... Я как бы весь мусор собирать везде. Для какой-то большой цели. Баешься. Ну, тут нормально. Вот бы на них напрыгивать можно было. Но я, наверное, не буду их убивать. Пойду, выйду отсюда. Надо уже заканчивать. Ну-ка, я в текстурах. Пацаны. Тут я уже почти круг сделал. Вот я сюда теперь могу зайти. Все-таки какой-то смысл был. Ну, всем этому. Так, ладно. На этой прекрасной ноте мы закончим пока. Играть и играть. Глава 11.